Hey, you guys, welcome to Season 2 Quantico After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We have all of everything you want to know about what's going on Season 2 for the new episode titled Kudove. I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll try and figure it out right after this.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Nice.
Did you pick this song?
No, but we didn't
I
even
like
discuss
it.
that. I
I
like
like
it
it as well.
too. You guys, welcome to Season 2 of Quantico. I'm Andrea Fasano, your lead host, and I am so thrilled and excited because guess what? We have a full new panel. This is the beginning of Season 2. It's weird because Season 1 was broken into 2 parts, so it kind of threw a lot of us off, but we are talking a premiere episode of Season 2 for Quantico. It's Kudove, and I have all these lovely people here just pumped to talk about this amazing show. We're gonna let each of them introduce themselves, and we want to hear a little bit about you guys. Tell us what's going on. You guys can follow me at Andy Fasano, and we'll get started with this guy right to my left.
How you guys doing? I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. You can find me on Twitter at @G on TV, and AfterBuzz TV fans probably know me most for the UFC After Show.
Hey guys, I am Drexel Heard. This is actually my first official after show.
Woo.
Other than subbing in on the night of with Renee.
Are you perma-sub?
No. So I actually do all the other political shows on AfterBuzz. So you can find me on Black Hollywood Live's Political Culture every week and Trump versus Hillary
With my guy,
on
Christian
AfterBuzz
Blatt.
with Christian Blatt. And tomorrow night we're doing we're doing a debate special tomorrow night. So
Awesome.
be sure to,
Oh,
but
that's
you can
right,
follow
Monday.
me
Tune
Monday
in.
night, the first presidential debate. But you can follow me at Drexel Heard.
Very cool. Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel. And check out my blog. It's catslipstickla.com. I recently did an article, 7 dates in 7 days. So read it because I did a lot of dates in a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's really funny, guys, so definitely check her out. She's hilarious. Not just a pretty face.
And if you were one of those people that she went on the date with in the 7 days,
yeah.
I want to know.
Date number
Just
3.
tweet at us.
Definitely.
Date number 3.
Can we open up the live chat?
And we're on.
I remember her.
You guys, so Priyanka Chopra is back. I'm so excited for this
Yes.
new season. Last season ended, she was getting kind of recruited by the CIA, which is crazy because she just came out of all that drama with the FBI. And so much already is happening. I did some research to try and find out what was going on. I believe one of the executive producers did an article and he was talking about the fact that you will have dual, past, present situations here within each episode. You mentioned that we're jumping around already in the first episode like
Yes.
a million times. It's definitely a hard show to keep track of. And with the 4 of us, we're gonna do an awesome job. So I already know that. But one of them is that the past is taking place over, a couple of months, but the present day is only gonna be about a 12-hour day, which is kind of crazy to know. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys knew that, and you guys out there. So just keep that in mind when we're going forward, because it does get very confusing, but that might help us a little bit with the timeline of how things are happening. So let's jump in. We have Alex and Ryan,
Do it.
and they're both chosen and recruited by the CIA, like right away. What is going on, and what are your thoughts on this?
Go
sorry.
ahead, Renee.
I'm so happy that they were both recruited because I'm like, how are they going to keep Alex and Ryan together in this next season? I remember when we left off last season, I'm like, but how are they going to make it in their relationship?
Right.
And now I'm just so happy they're both recruited. I love that they both didn't tell each other. It's great. It's a great start.
Do you feel like that's just a totally mirror image of where they left off
Oh
last
yeah,
season,
major
right?
trust issues.
Total trust issues.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. You're ready.
I was
On
just
board.
gonna say, I found it hilarious how we think that Alex is gonna be just kick-ass CIA, and she's in a cubicle, and like they don't
In the
even listen to
basement.
her. Yes, and it's like, dude, just. I think it was a very interesting setup because we all expected, okay, well, now what's going to happen? Are they going to have her doing the same stuff? But no, it's a very weird introduction, but I really liked it because we get to see all the characters come back that we're familiar with. There's some mystery to it. It was great.
They even mentioned some people that we didn't actually see in this episode, but that we remember and love from last season.
Something happened to Caleb's mom this episode. I don't know what happened. We might get into that, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Kayla's mom, you said?
Vice President Haas wasn't
Vice
there.
President.
But we'll talk about
They
she
mentioned
hasn't
her,
mentioned
they
name,
mentioned Kayla,
but she hasn't
they
come
mentioned
yet.
Iris,
Sorry.
everybody. Go ahead, Drexel.
I mean, I thought the episode was. I thought the whole episode was great. But what I really liked was the fact that what I like about this show is how diverse it is. First of all, but it just seems to me that all the black people are leading everything. They got a black black president, Miranda.
I love her. She
Blair
is
Blair
incredible.
Underwood as Owen Hall now, Owen Hall now, and then Lydia Bates, who we'll talk about. I'm sure we'll talk about a
Right,
little bit
we
later.
thought she was just a
That
recruit.
girl.
But I did agree with Gabriel a little bit on the fact that it was jumping around. But I think a lot of shows are doing that this season. Like
Yeah.
I just finished watching Notorious earlier, and there's a lot of jumping in that episode, in that season. I mean, in that pilot, I watched Pitch, and so a lot of the new shows are starting to jump around, probably because they want to throw us off the scent early, so that we're confused and trying to figure out what's going on a little later.
What's going on with them. So you guys, immediately after that, we see that whole thing happening with Ryan and Alex. It's exciting. They're pinned against each other again. They have to lie to each other again. But then the first present day that we see is she's going to give a ring back and leaves it on the table, and cut to the next scene for the present day. They're under attack already. How do we feel about this?
Well, that's marriage.
I mean,
Just kidding.
oh, good call. That's funny.
That is hilarious.
One of the things that I wrote down for myself was the fact that Alex had, in the first season, Alex became this name. Everywhere she went, you knew Alex Parrish's name. So to me, the unrealistic part of it is the fact that you would never ever be recruited in the CIA if your name was plastered all over American
And
television.
everyone knew who you were.
And
where you've
everybody
been.
knew you. Internationally, they knew who you were. Domestically, they knew who you are. It's probably very difficult for you to have been recruited as a CIA
But
agent.
remember, that's what Miranda says, because it's like you can't go undercover if everyone knows your face. That's why she initially cut her from the
Right.
FBI.
Yeah.
The CIA, I guess it doesn't matter if everyone knows you if you're just the president's bodyguard, for example. So
I
I
mean,
think
if she
that
was,
might
but-
be part of it.
I mean, but she
Interesting.
was in
Yeah.
a cubicle,
Not
Oh,
hidden
yeah.
away.
chilling out.
Just chilling.
But that was their whole cover, right? For her, for the fact that they were going to make her a recruit
Right,
to
right.
become what they called a case worker,
A
case
case
worker, right.
officer.
officer,
Yeah.
a case officer, which is the whole point of them being recruited to be in the CIA now, who are, as Lydia Bates said, liars, cheats, thieves. Like they become criminals themselves
Sounds
in
just
order
my
to
type.
Totally right.
Is that one of the first one of those 7 days?
Hey, that's
set
like
my
all
Tinder
7 of
setup
them.
at the farm and
If
just
you- oh
swipe
my
in that
gosh.
area at 1 mile radius at the farm.
That's so awesome. And so then we go into really the meat of it, where they're teaching them to be these case officers. And how do we think, like you said, with Alex being so known, how do we really think they're going to deal? Because we see that Ryan's such a good... I've always wanted to take a lie detector test, by the way. Does anyone else feel like this? I've always wanted to see how I would fare.
I feel like it depends on what day they catch me. Some days it's like, is your name Gabriel? It's like, yes, wrong. It's like, what?
Right.
Other times it's like, I could do that. Just
Right.
breathe deep, and it's like, no.
I heard if you put, years ago, if you just put like a pin under your foot, so you're already always at this length that nobody's ever heard that before.
Yeah, see, I have a
Like,
low
say-
tolerance for pain, so
Well,
I
yeah.
don't think that I'd be very good at having a pin under my foot.
Right, and then you're always there so that it's not like you get worse, and if you do it at the wrong time, so you're not really lying.
I'm a terrible liar. I have like really bad anxiety too. Like imagine being in that room being like lie to us. I would fail. I'd be out
But
of
see,
there
here's the
immediately.
thing. We live in Los Angeles. Lying is a part of being an
Every day,
Angelino.
it's hard. Every day,
You
it's
know,
hard.
it's what we deal with.
It's true. It's always
You
like,
said
oh,
you
I
were
didn't get
happy
your
to see me
text.
this evening, though, Drexel.
I didn't get your text. I love that.
Classic. There's hats.
No
that say I
joke.
didn't get your text.
Is it? Are there?
Yeah,
Because
guys,
I have a couple
Betches-
friends who need that.
Oh my god, yeah, go on the Betches Instagram. I'm not kidding, they have hats that say, I didn't get your text. Because how many times
Is
has
it
someone come
weird?
up to you?
Like, I'm not talking about, like, guy, girl, like, okay, you ignored me. Like, I'm talking about, I literally take it personally if someone's not texting me back. Like,
yeah, me too, I'm sensitive.
I think
Oh,
it depends. You know, I was telling a friend the other day that this is completely obviously we're not.
We'll get back to Quantico in
but
one
I was just
moment.
talking about a friend the other day that on the iPhone, and I don't know if this is like on the Droid, but on the iPhone you can put specific people on Do Not Disturb.
Yes.
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
you don't get their text.
Yeah.
Oh, you
But
do
why
get
do
their
you wanna
text.
do that?
I do it.
I do it all the
Guys.
time.
Guys, iOS 10, I'm telling you, just for all the creeps out there, you can now have certain people with read receipts on. So just take someone's phone when they're not looking, and you want to see if they're ignoring you, just turn your read receipts on your specific contact. They won't know, but you will.
After you steal their phone. See, and we're back to Quantico. This is how the show is going to work,
Do you
guys.
plan
I
on
hope
getting
you're all
an
gonna
8th
stay
date
We're
with
gonna
us.
take
after revealing
real
that
life.
secret?
We're gonna take real life scenarios and parallel them
and
to what's
apply
happening
it
in
to
Quantico.
Because let's be real, a lot of what we said last season was the fact that some of this does seem surreal. I did love how the Quantico writers and ABC kept things so relevant. Everything with very timely comments on our culture and on social media and everything that's going on. It was very current, so I gave them a lot of credit for that. But you know, it's hard. You couldn't imagine what it would really be like in something like the FBI or the CIA. So this is how we live vicariously through these people.
Yeah,
right?
I feel cool just watching it.
Right.
Yeah. I wish I was Alex Parrish.
She's gonna be an agent soon.
I'm going to be an
She
agent.
probably is an agent.
This is my audition. Is that how this works? Is that how you get hired
right.
there?
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
I mean,
Just like acting.
I was actually gonna say I love the line that Ryan has with the president, where it's like, you don't negotiate with terrorists, and the president is like, of course we do. You just don't know about
That's
it. And
it.
it's like, that's totally something only someone on the inside would know.
Exactly. And
Right.
it's timely. It's almost something that we're dealing with in everyday life here in America. So, okay, we see Shelby. She's present in these, in just the one so far, the present day. No, she was in both. Was she in? She was in the
both.
past.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
because she helped him pick out the
Yes.
ring.
Right.
Yeah.
How do we feel about her presence so far? And second question, who do we think Alex was talking about when she said her to Ryan in the beginning?
Not Shelby.
I thought it was Shelby for a hot second.
But I feel like it has to be someone we know or someone we're going to be introduced to in the next few episodes and we'll become familiar with. And then when it switches back to present day, perhaps we'll find out who that her is and be more acquainted.
Maybe
with them.
that crying roommate we saw that we didn't really get introduced to.
Ryan didn't text her back.
And I don't remember Ryan's. Excuse me. I don't remember Ryan's fiance from last season.
You don't remember who
Where did
she
she
is?
go?
Oh, she was only there
died.
for.
She died, right?
Did she?
Oh, wait,
No.
the wife or the
The
fiance?
girlfriend who was in charge of the
Natalie?
task force.
No.
No. Remember last
Yeah,
year?
the
Ryan
one-
had-
no,
Hannah.
she
Her
left.
real name
Hannah,
is
yes.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Where did she go?
She just
So
disappeared
maybe
after their
I mean, it's
task.
very possible that Hannah could be
Oh.
the her.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. If Hannah's not anywhere, Hannah had a huge role last season in
Right.
terms of the Alex-Ryan relationship. So there could have been that hey, you know, Hannah's popping up still. And
Wait, Hannah, the ex-wife.
Yes.
Yes, the ex-wife.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
It's
that's
possible.
That's what's funny because even in the past scenes now, when Alex called him out about lying, he did use Hannah's name.
Right.
So it's like, and she said, "Oh, you want me to call her?" So we don't know what maybe has
Right.
happened with her between then and
Because
now.
with a show like this, there's so many new characters, but there were so many characters from last season that we have to see eventually at some
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Caleb.
And the
Caleb.
intelligence. Oh, yep. And I mean the community, the intelligence community is large, but also very small. So I
Yeah.
can't imagine that Hannah is gone somewhere.
Right.
Where's she at?
Yeah. Where are you at, Hannah?
I love her. She was on Happy Endings. We pointed that out last year. She's such a good actress, and she's so amazing with monologues. She just whips them out. What an amazing, amazing actress. So speaking of actors, we have a ton of new sexy recruits. We didn't really catch a lot of names
Yeah,
because they threw a bunch out right away. But anybody that caught your guys' eyes?
The British one I
There weren't
found
a
was
lot of
very
women,
funny.
so-
I was
Sorry
gonna
about that.
say it's like you
Just
know.
say Alex Parrish.
Yeah,
Just say
I mean
Alex Parrish.
that's all I ever focus on is Alex Parrish. Right? Come
Who
on.
doesn't?
Right.
I was gonna say though that what's his name for not being sexy, but Jeremy Miller.
Jeremy
Oh,
Miller.
Yes,
yeah,
that
we
guy. He's gonna be one we gotta keep an eye on.
Well, I
That
don't know
one
if you
stood
guys.
out.
I don't know if you guys remember watching. Jeremy Miller, David Call was on Gossip Girl, and he's also from The Following. I don't know if you guys watched Fox's The Following with Kevin Bacon, but he was on The Following, and he always plays like creepy.
Right. I
guys.
was gonna say like an undercover.
Like yeah, somebody
nerd,
you don't
but
trust
not-
at all.
Right.
Like zero trust. In Gossip Girl and in The Following.
I was gonna say he's just got that look.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately,
That creepy look,
just
yeah.
some actors they're typecast because they have that stereotypical, creeper 101 look.
Yeah.
And I think he's just
He's making
unfortunately
a
one of them.
career out of it.
But
obviously.
Renee
I mean,
brought
make
up
money.
the British guy, Harry's the character name,
Harry.
but Russell Tovey, who's from HBO's Looking. So he did Looking, the TV show, and then he did Looking,
You're
the movie.
all
he was,
over these new
Yeah.
actors.
Well, that's because I write very fast.
That's
He's
good.
so
And,
organized,
Hey,
guys.
show
Those
the
of you who
fans
can't
your
see.
notes.
No, I take lots of notes. That's because I forget
Yeah.
things very easily. Yeah, so I think that, I always said one thing that people forget here in Hollywood, and I talked about it before the show, is that if you see a character that's recognizable, always trust the fact that they are going to be a big part of the season at some
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You don't put an actor that if you haven't really seen before, that's not gonna
In a big role.
in a big role. So
Absolutely. I'm actually surprised I don't recognize more people. But if you're saying they're coming from these shows, I don't actually watch a lot of those. But I have a feeling there'll be some more even thrown into the mix in a little
Oh, yeah.
bit. How about the Smokey guy who's Ryan Booth's new roommate who went to prison, but we
yeah.
don't know why. And I think he's going to be a big player.
yeah,
Well, I feel like he's going to be the central player to break apart
Really?
Ryan and Alex.
Ooh.
Just because, not necessarily that he's the one trying to get at Alex, but just he's going to lead to the friction. And I think he had one of the funniest lines, Ryan's like, all right, I trust you. And then Ryan asks a question and he's like, hey, I didn't say I trusted you.
Right.
I mean, so he's a shady guy. He's going to be one to watch too.
I don't know. I think going by like how Quantico did things last season, the characters that like automatically were like, oh, I don't know if I trust you, you're a little shady, are typically the ones that turn out to be totally fine and just regular humans that have secrets.
like Simon.
Yeah, like Simon.
Right. And they played with
Oh,
that poor guy.
R.I.P. Simon. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a really bad guy. I do think he's going to rock the boat. I agree with the Alex and Ryan. But I don't know, with like people that I think are actually going to be a big issue with like the bigger plot of the show, I think are going to be the people that we don't expect.
One of the other weird things about this show, though, I don't know, is that why are the recruits all like from last season? Why do the recruits have like issues later on? Why do they go and they're blowing things up? They've been turned somewhere. Like you got these new recruits who are bad. You had some old recruits that are bad.
Yeah.
Can all the recruits? Can we just have a CIA, a
That is
functioning
what's
CIA,
wrong with
and
it.
FBI?
Right?
Can we? I wrote literally at the top of my page. I said, "Trust no one.
Yeah. Yes. It's scary.
Trust no one."
And I
Bro,
think
if they
that's
were
what-
all normal, we wouldn't have a show.
Well,
What I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. But at least not half
be
of
no
them.
I know.
But I
I
think
know.
that's a really good point as far as Alex's character is
She seems to be the only good
concerned,
one.
because she is.
You don't
she's
trust
a
Ryan?
very
No.
seductive character, but she's making it clear like I don't want to lie. I want to trust the people around me, and she thinks that's what helped her get through the last incident she had. And now the CIA is telling her, no, you could have prevented that whole thing.
Lydia said that.
Yeah.
If you did what we taught you. And she's like, great. So now the man I love is a liar and I don't know whether to trust him. But she has, I'm sorry, as much as she says she wants to trust, she has trust issues from day one.
Totally.
And I
I mean,
love,
from her growing up, I mean, she grew up like that.
Yes,
She didn't have trust
yes.
issues.
Yeah.
so I just basically just backtracked on what I just said myself. I was like, I'm my own hypocrite. But I do love that Ryan was like, and something about like how he loved her and like that's never a lie and that was you
They
gotta
have
trust me
that
on that.
one room that's just theirs.
Wait, where was that room? Like,
Yeah.
what was that?
By
I
the
feel
way,
like-
so
go ahead.
Go ahead. I wrote down the room because if anybody watches Grey's Anatomy, there was a room that Christina and Owen used to go in that reminded me of the room that
Funny.
the trust room. That was the room where Christina and Owen could trust each other a little more. So I feel like
Interesting.
It's a
ABC just
trust
took a little
room.
bit of Shondaland
And we know
put
what
it right in
happened with
Quantico.
that couple.
Yeah. Well,
I was
Cross it off.
I was actually going to say the first thing I think when you know that they're going to reveal secrets to each other only in this room is like, well, the CIA, come on, they don't have someone watching them.
Right.
A
I know.
bug
In
ends
every
up in
room.
the room. Yeah, that's why I feel like that can't be an
Well,
idea that
even
lasts
when
long.
the camera pulled back, I was like, is somebody hiding in
Yeah.
like a glory
Right.
hole on the side of the wall?
not a
Someone's gonna
glory
find
hole. Oh my gosh.
Someone's going to find out they're there.
I think that they, like, for being people undercover, I don't think they're being, like,
Very
good
sneaky.
It's an 11
with it.
o'clock
Yeah.
show. We're good.
I mean, they're talking in the plane. I mean, there are people a few feet away from you. If someone wants to eavesdrop, they will. That's not tricky. Also, second note, Ryan, don't carry around your engagement ring. You're under. What are you doing? Leave it at home. And third, I have to say, I love the theme switch where last season, even though we didn't want to trust any of the special agents because from the beginning they were telling us it's one of you guys, but then the whole time they're like, but you need to trust each other. But this season, it's all about don't trust anyone because it's all about watching out for yourself in the mission. So I think because of that, it tells us that someone within the group of case officers or case officers to be is going to be one of the bad guys.
And I think that the realistic part of that is, the way that our FBI and our CIA are kind of made up. The FBI really goes after the facts through truth, and then the CIA has to use that central intelligence, that kind of backroom dealing and trying to figure it out. And I think that's a really interesting way to kind of reintroduce the CIA to the American people, because the American people, at the end of the day, still don't trust our intelligence community at all from 9/11 on. And even so, there are still some trust issues with the FBI right now in the handling of certain, different things in the past. I won't bring it up
because that's another show.
That's a whole other show.
For tomorrow night.
For tomorrow night on Trump versus Hillary.
Tune in.
But but I'm saying there is some distrust in the intelligence community, and I think that this show is only going to make that trust a little wider.
We're all going to have trust issues by the end of the season.
Right. If we don't have them already, Gabriel.
I was actually just gonna say you have a lot of points, but then, it is a dramatization at the end of the day.
Bring it back to TV.
I was going to say, it's they're not all twisted running a conspiracy to take us over, but no, I get what you're talking about, and it is, I guess it's a definite insight. I hope we learned something that we didn't know before, because I think that's what's going to lend to the show's realism. But definitely, I feel like you got to take it with a bit of a grain of salt and have some fun with it. But no, definitely, I want to learn more about it because, like I said, I think that's what makes it so fun. The interaction with the president, that's just makes it more interesting with these characters that we're all familiar with and we like.
Right. You guys, just to take a little 5 seconds here and let you know to keep, if you're watching us on iTunes, I'm sorry, I just totally reversed that. If you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to interact with us. Leave comments. We wrote back, me and Isaac Johnson. Shout out, Isaac. Miss you. But, these guys will do their best to replace you. And we really like to interact with you guys and leave comments and comment back and figure out the theories and who's done it. And if you're on iTunes, please do the same. You guys can also tweet us. We're going to hashtag ABTV Quantico, right?
Yes.
We'll do that.
Yes.
So hashtag us at ABTV Quantico. That'll bring me back into last season. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna toot my own horn by saying that I had my eyes on Liam the entire time. Maybe it wasn't in my first review because I don't think I was even here for the first review, but at least the first 3 or 4 episodes. I also don't remember the first episode of last season being so revealing, as in Jeremy Miller just revealed himself as one of the bad guys. So that's a huge jump into this second season to already name a bad guy. I'm not asking you to pick a Liam yet, but any sort of idea. We even heard another guy, I don't think it was Jeremy Miller's voice, but maybe it was, who spoke to Ryan and thanked him in the middle of the conference room table. Thoughts on this?
Go ahead.
I'm not asking really predictions yet, but thoughts on that.
Thoughts on them revealing him as a bad guy?
Yes, so early. I mean, episode 1.
Again, with this show, they take us on quite the journey and they mislead us all the time. So I don't want to trust exactly what I don't want to take the information and assume it is that he's just a bad guy, because last season they're like, this guy's a bad guy. No. It's just the terrorist was telling him to be a bad guy, or so I don't know. We don't even know what the
issue is.
Motive. Yeah. What are they trying to accomplish, and who are they using to do so, and how are they getting them to do that? Is it really that this farm or the people that went rogue, is that really what this is? We don't know. We've only been given a little bit of information about it, and then from there we've assumed. So I don't know, the show goes in so many different directions.
It does. And just to make it clear as to what I'm asking, because I 100% agree with you where it did go all over the place. And even through the second half of last season, I got really frustrated because I was like, if it's not Liam,
Right?
I was going to throw a shoe.
But they're like, it's Ryan. And you're like, no, it's not.
People brought up it might be Ryan, Moran, everyone in the book, and I get that. I like that because it's a little bit of like Clue, which is awesome. I really loved though how it was Liam because it led you astray, but there was fact and reason that it should be him that did make sense in the end.
Yeah.
Because if you do that and totally throw us off and then don't make it that person, like what?
Well,
what?
What you're getting at, there needs to be a payoff.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
There was
so
a big,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there was a big payoff with Liam because especially in the finale where from the pilot and they finally tie it all together and it's like, how do we miss it? And then you're thinking about all the other characters. I think that the one who talked to Ryan is someone, he obviously knows Ryan.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. If he is complete rogue, why didn't he just shoot Ryan on the spot? So I'm assuming there are going to be
He
some...
thanked him, right?
I'm assuming there are going to be some agents at the farm that, you know, we're going to get to know. Some of them may or may not feel like they can be trusted. And we're going to be guessing who is that guy who talked to Ryan in the pilot. Or, sorry, in the premiere.
Right?
Well, and I think, excuse me, we saw quite a few of the recruits be pulled up to the front of the stage. Yeah. So we can eliminate a couple of recruits behind the mask. The British guy was out in the audience. Lydia was out in the audience.
The Asian guy.
The Asian guy was out in the audience. And the guy that's actually Ryan's roommate, I believe. I saw him sitting in the audience too. So I think that I think it has to be either somebody that we haven't met yet or somebody from last season. So so I don't know. I'm just saying that. But the one thing that I wanted to bring up, I don't know where we are in terms of time.
No, we're
the
good.
biggest fish brought into this season was the introduction of Owen Hall in Blair Underwood.
Yes.
He is the biggest name attached to Quantico right now. Actually, the biggest name attached to Quantico right now other than Priyanka Chopra. Period.
Yes.
And I have always loved Blair Underwood. But,
yes, he's fantastic.
So maybe we didn't see him out in the audience either. Not that he would be somebody that would be behind the mask or actually...
I was going to say, I find that completely possible.
Well,
if it's your biggest operation, why wouldn't you want to,
Liam.
You can't leave this to a bunch of people.
But
Sometimes you got to get in there and do it yourself.
Yeah, but I don't think that they would do 2 seasons in a row where the instructor was really kind of behind the whole thing. But the other thing I did write down was, because earlier, at one point in the episode, I wrote down, when is Alex going to learn not to listen to people on the phone?
Yeah, really.
She's always getting instructions to do something from somebody. She picks up this unknown and just does it.
I 100% thought that when she left the table. I was like, Alex, that might have just been a ploy again.
Right. First you got a post-it
Alex,
note.
Remember what happened last time?
Right. She did not learn.
No,
I don't even pick up a blocked call.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
Alex is picking up blocked. What kind of CIA agent is she?
Yeah, really.
What kind of FBI is she? Not learn
She
anything?
just goes. Her and Ryan,
Hey, I guess
really.
she was too distracted at Quantico.
Apparently.
You know what? I'm looking up the IMDb of Blair Underwood because we all know him. We've seen his face so many times.
He always plays a great bad guy.
A great guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Great bad guy.
And you know what he was in that I remember? The New Adventures of Old Christine.
Oh my goch, you pulled that. Let me just pulled it out
I did.
and set it there.
I thought that was so funny. I mean, he's been in so much. Dirty Sexy Money that was on for a moment.
That was a good
I
show.
actually really
moment.
liked him in
That was
Agents
ABC,
of
right?
S.H.I.E.L.D. personally.
He's
he
Agents
played a
of
good
S.H.I.E.L.D.
psychiatrist, turns into a superhuman character. It was really fun.
Yep.
I'm glad you mentioned him because I wanted to talk. Maybe we should talk. We already covered most of the new people, but he was one of the main ones. We love the CIA agent Matt Keys because he is the dad from Revenge.
Revenge. He
A
is
show I desperately miss.
Conrad.
Yes.
Conrad.
What was their last name?
That show's so long
didn't
ago.
watch that
We
show.
love the
Love
show.
that show, Conrad.
fans.
Oh my gosh. I'll put it up in one.
Yeah,
second.
I thought he was. I thought he was a. Like I said, you don't bring in a big fish into a big actor that you've seen before plenty onto a show like that into a character without them having some sort of connection later on down the
Oh
line.
yeah.
Right. You know what? I can't even find.
I wanted to bring up a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so close to the conclusion, we saw Blair. We find out his connection with Lydia, but they seem very normalized. You know, they're kind of living. They're very warm with each other.
Interesting.
And I feel like, okay, we're being led to believe that they're the bad guys, but he just didn't seem very evil, which made me think, okay, well, how is this gonna flip if, you know, the information Miranda and Keys have is incorrect?
However, don't they think, whoever these people gone rogue, think that they're doing the right thing? Right?
True.
I mean,
Because they're going against, I guess, the CIA and the FBI used to be able to kind of do whatever they want and had less boundaries. And I guess these people going rogue want to get back to that. However, I don't necessarily think that the people, bad guys in general, are like, well, this is the bad thing to do. Like, they all believe in it. So it's just kind of a matter of like...
So that philosophy that even villains think they're correct, that's
Yeah.
why they're okay doing what they do.
Because they could still be warm to each other and have, like, I mean, to us, an evil plan.
Right.
However, have like a father-daughter relationship.
I think that is classic terrorist. Like that's the classic mentality in general. So I think that terrorists at a certain point believe that they are doing the right thing for X, Y, and Z,
For a greater good,
whatever
whatever
it is. So you know, and the same thing for any sort of domestic terrorist. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of these CIA agents believe that that they're doing the right thing, or whoever is in charge of the Citizens Liberation Front.
Yes, and there has to be a certain amount of brainwashing that goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Good or bad. Obviously, they think it's for good, and it's got to affect you in some way, where something maybe clicks and you're like, I still believe this is good, but it's very bad.
I want to know at what point did they all learn Swahili?
Yeah,
Oh, right?
Absolutely.
Is that a thing?
Can we talk about the character that's back that we didn't talk about yet?
Reyna?
Nima and Reyna? Yeah.
Well,
Nima
not
wasn't
Nima.
there, but obviously
Reyna.
the same actress plays both characters, the twins, and she's amazing. Jasmine, I forget her last name, but she's awesome.
Masari.
Yes. And so she is so fantastic, and to see her back as Reyna, just coming in and making an appearance, but excited to have her back.
For just a hot second. I hope we get her somewhere in the past. Today? Past. Where, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And then I want to get her there because now we know that it's only 12 hours. I don't know how much we'll see her. I want to see her and Nima. I would love to see them both. Maybe Nima
they
will
did
sing
talk
her.
about Reyna at some point. She didn't mention her sister's name.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we will see Reyna at some point, or them both come up in the past.
You know
at
who
some point.
mentioned her? Shelby mentioned.
Right.
Oh,
What
yeah.
they were up to.
Right.
She
But I
busted
don't-
a cartel.
Yes,
Yes.
that they were doing good things, big things.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, who knows if she interacts with the CIA at all?
And Caleb's a lawyer at Berkeley.
At Berkeley
Yeah.
College.
I hope that doesn't mean he's like completely written out now.
No,
I bet he's undercover.
He has to come back.
Yeah.
I bet
he's
they're all undercover.
Right.
They're all doing
Right.
something.
And nobody else knows.
I mean, his
that.
mom's the vice president now, so I can't imagine
Right.
that he's. I think that's another hard part. That's that goes back to the Alex like being this name. Caleb's mom is vice president. You really, it's very difficult to have your son in the CIA or in the line of duty. First of all, your kid gets protection. Your kid gets Secret Service protection.
Right.
I think, depending on how old he is, does he get Secret Service protection? So
Well, I think you still do if you're like just can
I think
be
if you're in your early
manipulated
20s
in the system.
I would think you are.
Yeah.
too.
I think you get Secret Service protection. So I can't imagine he's out doing any sort of missions.
Right. Well,
as the vice president.
maybe not, and maybe he's just being Caleb, taking the free ride of
Right.
another higher education, and then someone pulls him back in.
I was gonna say we didn't think Alex would be able to do it either with her high
what?
profile. But now
Right.
she's technically
But
still
we also
undercover. She's kind of playing a version of herself. She's not taking a new identity full undercover.
Right.
I get what you mean.
Right.
So this is the first episode. I feel like we got to cover the episode a lot. I don't know what the Kudove. I don't. Kudove.
Yeah.
Does it
did
mean
they
something?
Say usually it's the last word of the script of the entire episode, but I so wasn't paying attention
Maybe
to
that's
that.
maybe that's the name of the mission, the Citizens Liberation Front mission.
Was
I
it
didn't get
something
that.
maybe they said while we were caught up in the drama? What was
We
about
so
to
were
happen
because
with that
all of our
machete?
mouths were like, "What?"
Yeah, everybody
And
gasped for like.
That's what I wanted to lead into the fact of we're gonna get into predictions, and seems like we're kind of, doing hearsay right now. So, do we think the president's wife dies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely
100%.
right.
Because I
don't
can't
think-
imagine them starting it the next episode with like stopping from cutting
just
off
like,
her head and being like, oh,
Just
wait.
scratched her.
Right.
Just cut the
Just
skin.
scratch
Just
her.
cut
Right?
it. Just gave her a
Like,
haircut.
Her head's gone. That moment, I was just going, no, no, no. And then Becca, our social media person, came over and she was like, "Are you okay, Renee?" Because I could not take it. We just met her.
I mean, but did we though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't really get to see much
We
of her.
weren't invested.
We
is
weren't
what you're
invested in
saying.
her. Is what- yeah.
Got a little invested. I don't like seeing anyone die.
She did have a snarky line at one point when they were sitting in with Ryan and the president was there, and she had this really snarky line as if she was the one running the show.
Like,
But,
what are you doing here?
Something. She said something, and I was like, oh, she's a fiery.
It's like,
first
you don't
lady.
want help?
Right. She's a fiery first lady. I thought it was
So
good.
she is gonna die, and then Jeremy jumps out the window, which is kind of crazy.
I want to know what their connection is with this Eric Boyer.
Okay.
They said his name a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one
They
that's
released
been
him.
released. So I want to know why they want that particular person out.
Right.
I'm sure he'll come back at some point, but obviously they were looking for pardons for unjust prosecutions
Right.
for global security. So, yeah, I think the First Lady is obviously not going to make it.
Gone.
Next.
All right. Well, I guess that'll lead us into predictions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we get our
AfterBuzz
there we
TV
go. I'm like, I haven't heard it because of the shows I've
I
been
know,
doing.
right? I was waiting for it too. It's like, is
I
it
love
gonna happen?
lights. I
Yeah,
love
lights are
lights.
great.
I'm going to start
love the
incorporating
lights.
that on my political show. Predictions.
There you go.
Who's going to win the election?
I think the president will be.
Right.
Every show.
Every show.
Every
Based on the
week, find
polls.
out. It changes.
Renee, do we don't want to start down there with you?
Sure. Okay. So I will say I'm not sure exactly who within this new group of trainees will be the person recruiting people. However, I do think it's going to be someone within the group, not the trainer, the leader, the
Blair.
you know what I'm
Blair
talking about with
Underwood, yes.
Miranda and Keith.
So,
I'm not
Owen.
Miranda and Keith, Matthew and Lydia, and I do think that one or the other is going to be another recruiter. I think that will be part of the shock is that it's only one and then the other wouldn't know about it. I also think that we're going to meet Eric Boyer. We haven't met her. We're going to meet Eric Boyer in the next few episodes. I also think he's going to be in the group of trainees, one of the ones that just like made it through to the next place that they're going to all meet up.
Interesting.
And I think that Ryan and Alex are going to break up with mid-season for sure.
If
Yeah.
not by next episode.
Yeah, right.
Next episode. I think that Eric Boyer might be possibly calling the shots, and that's why they want him out.
You guys, I'm so shocked. Just side note that you think he was so involved because to me he was
But
like,
they said
okay,
he was,
they let him go.
But
Bye.
he was the first name. I mean, they were really pushing
They
that
were.
person
You're
out.
100%
So,
right. I love this.
So I think that he has something to do with this whole thing. I could be completely off. He could just be another guy that they made up. I think that if I had to choose a person to watch right now, I think it would be more Lydia than Owen. I actually wrote down, do we trust her? Because I don't know if I really trust her,
Right.
but I can't imagine that. I don't know. I really have to see her, but I don't really trust her. That's my gut instinct right now.
Right.
Is I don't really trust Lydia. I trust Owen more than I trust Lydia, even though Blair Underwood always plays the bad guy.
Right.
But, you know, those meek ones, you got to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
out
It's
for them.
always the quiet one.
always the
you
quiet ones.
just brought up another thing in my mind. The fact that she's his daughter,
Right.
which we didn't touch upon exactly, and that's gonna get fun and hairy, I think, also. But she was pretend hitting on Ryan
Right.
in front of Alex to stir that pot, but
Right.
she knows. She knew the whole time.
Right.
So I just thought that was a funny note.
Oh, that
And that's-
girl.
I mean, I don't know if I trust my ability to predict
Okay.
and Renee after Murder Mystery this summer, but nah, I think that yeah, we didn't guess a killer wrong on the Murder Mystery. Anyway, but I think that Owen it's not the person that Miranda and everyone thinks he is to be, and I actually can only predict that at some point Alex and Owen are going to be fighting evil together.
Interesting. So you're saying that Miranda and Keys think that Owen's the bad guy.
Yes.
And he's not going to be
I
the
think
bad guy.
it's a lot more complicated. Obviously, it's something to figure out, but I don't think he is that guy. I think, if anything, he might be almost like I want to say double agent, triple agent.
Interesting.
And it's like,
In
no,
a
I'm
good
trying
way.
to infiltrate them too, and I have this role in this operation. So I could see that happening because they're also secretive.
Yeah. I fully think that him and his daughter, I do see the daughter turning against him and kind of something coming out there maybe, because she is a badass. You can see that already.
Right.
She is a very good liar, obviously. She's a very good actress. We got fooled immediately. She seemed meek, but she's absolutely not. And I'd like to see a little more of, like, we went into their home today. I thought that was
Right.
interesting, and there's definitely going to be more there. I do agree with you, the fact that they already have done a Liam. They're not going to do another lead of an agency
Right.
to be the bad
Bad
guy.
guy, right.
I can see Alex helping with that. And I don't know. I don't even, you guys, I'm going to leave it all to you with the predictions because that's really good and it's a total cop-out by me. So we hope you guys really enjoyed watching this first episode of the second season of Quantico. So excited to be here with you all.
Yes.
Yeah.
What an awesome panel. Before we sign off, please let everyone know where they can find you, starting with you down there.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel, and check out my blog, catslipstickla.com.
And I'm Drexel Heard. I want to know who you think is going to be on next week's murder board, because Alex Parrish was at the bottom of the list today. You can follow me at Drexel Heard.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter all the time at Double G on TV. Also find me at katepages.com/author/Gabriel Gonzalez.
There you go. And you guys can follow me at Andy Fasano. That's Andy with an I. And make sure to tweet us all. Let us know what you think. It's hashtag AVsTV Quantico. Also leave your comments on YouTube and on iTunes. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and we will see you next week, this same time, for Quantico Episode 2. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.